Hello, fifth grade. So today I am going to read a short story out of our Reading Writing Workshop textbook. But first I want to show you how you're able to access these textbooks at home. So this is what your screen looks like as you log into Wonders. So this is where all of your to-dos are. If you want to look at your vocabulary for the week, if you want to practice writing, if you want to work on any of the games, or if you want to read. So if you click on
Read.
read, you're going to see all of the stories that we're going to be reading this week. So Forest on Fire is the one I'm going to be reading today. This is in the small book. And this global warming is going to be the one we read that's going to be in your big book. So Forest on Fire is, you can click on it here. Global warming is your big book. So I'm just going to show you, if you click on here, it's going to give you access to not just the story, but your entire book. So if you click up here at the top, this is where your table of contents are. You can add bookmarks and save your place, but this glossary is just like the back of your book. So if you wanted to access your vocabulary and look up the definitions of any of the vocabulary words, it's all here. Okay, so let me leave this. Also, if for some reason this is not coming up, or if you want to look at a previous text that you're working on, like for example, Mighty Kate, so you just type in Mighty Kate up here, or whatever the story is you want to look for, and then it'll pull up your story, and then you could read it. So now we're going to read Forest on Fire. Okay, so this is a genre, is expository text. Expository text is nonfiction. So this is real life. This is true, is not made up. And nonfiction texts or expository informational texts, those all mean the same thing. It is text that has text features. So if you were on my Zoom this morning, we did a little Kahoot game and we went over some of the text features. So some text features include headings like these: benefits of naturally occurring wildfires, destructive and productive. Those are both headings. Other text features is a caption, so whether wildfires are small or large, firefighters are needed to help contain them. So this is a caption for a picture. It tells you what the picture is about. This is a graph. So graphs are in there, or it could be a table. Those are also text features. We have more headings here. This is like a diagram showing you that, and this is a caption for your diagram. So it shows you that a black spruce tree needs a fire's heat to cause its cones to open and scatter seeds, so eventually seedlings sprout and a new forest will grow. So first you have a cone that gets opened by the heat, it spreads its new seedlings, and then it creates a young forest. So these arrows are showing you the progression of the steps that it takes. So that's a diagram. So anything that has text features like this, most likely is nonfiction. So this is our new unit we just started. We're going to be going over the same stuff for the next 2 weeks. So our central question is, what changes in the environment affect living things? And so we're going to read about the effects of forest fires on plants, animals, and people. So the skill we're going to be focusing on this week, our comprehension skill, is comparing and contrasting. We did this before in a story where we were comparing and contrasting the settings in a fiction text. And so compare and contrast is just seeing what's the same and what's different. So for example, let me pull this up. So you're going to use a Venn diagram where you have what's different on the outsides, and then what's the same or similar is going to be on the inside. So we're going to be comparing rainfall and wildfires, so this first section. So we're going to put down how they're different on the outside and how they're same. And I'm going to show you some of the keywords you can look for in nonfiction text. It's going to give you a clue that you're going to be comparing and contrasting, which is also a text structure or a form of how they're writing up this information for you to understand. The other strategy that we're going to use to help us to understand is to ask and answer questions. So as we're reading, if you want to take notes and write down questions you could ask, that could be sample test questions, by all means do that, because that's also a way to help you understand and learn. So we're going to get started. A few years ago, several red squirrels, an endangered species, had a temporary home at the Phoenix Zoo. Rescued from a ravaging wildfire that had already destroyed thousands of acres of land, the squirrels were waiting for the fire to be extinguished before being returned to the wild. Forest fires are part of nature, so it is important for us to understand not only how to fight fires, but also why they occur. So, how does the author introduce the topic? So this first little section is like the introduction. So how is he introducing the topic? So the author starts with a little anecdote of how red squirrels found a temporary home in a zoo after being rescued from a wildfire, which is right here. So this anecdote leads me to believe that I will probably read more about the effects of wildfires. So let's continue reading. Destructive and productive. Like rainstorms, wildfires are a force of nature. However, unlike rainstorms, wildfires are almost always destructive. They consume everything in their way, including plants, trees, and animals. Sometimes they take human lives and homes as well. Like a big storm, the destructive power of wildfires is terrifying. On the other hand, naturally occurring wildfires are also productive forces. Whether their flames race through a forest, a prairie, or acres of brush, these fires produce necessary changes in their environment. Like rain, they could allow new life to flourish. So, the way the author organizes the text is he's talking about how rainstorms and wildfires are alike and how they are different. So, for example, both are forces of nature. So, they are both forces of nature. However, wildfires, unlike rainstorms, are almost always destructive. So these details show that the text has a compare and contrast structure. So, benefits of naturally occurring wildfires. A naturally occurring wildfire, sometimes called a forest fire, happens without any human cause. 3 factors must be present for one to burn. These include fuel, such as dry grasses, oxygen, which is in our atmosphere, and a heat source to ignite that fuel. A lightning strike usually sparks a naturally occurring wildfire. The danger of fire is highest during a drought, when an area has experienced little rain. Wildfires have happened throughout history, and they help to regenerate Earth and its species. When vegetation decays, wildfires clear it away so that new plant life can grow. Fire also releases nutrients back into the soil, making it more fertile. And by eliminating leafy canopies of mature trees, fire allows nourishing sunlight to reach a forest floor. Often this new plant life will be better adapted to fire than what existed before. Some species will have fire-resistant roots, leaves, or bark. Other species will actually depend on fire to reproduce and thrive. Stability and diversity. Among its benefits, fire promotes stability. By eliminating invasive species that can take over an area, fire encourages the healthy growth of a region's own vegetation. At the same time, fire promotes diversity. It ensures that plant life will exist at different stages of development. For example, a forest recently struck by fire will have new seedlings. Not far away, in a forest struck by fire 20 years earlier, there may be small trees, and nearby, there may be a forest of mature trees untouched by fire for years. These variations in plant life provide food and habitats for different kinds of insects, birds, and mammals. Woodpeckers eat insects in burned-out trees. Sparrows depend on seeds for food. Predators such as foxes are drawn by small prey. Forests at different stages attract a diversity of animals to a region. The human factor. Although wildfires have benefits, they also are feared and misunderstood. As a result, our government tried to suppress them completely throughout the 20th century. This policy had a negative impact on the environment. The gradual buildup of decayed vegetation provided more fuel to feed fires. Consequently, wildfires became noticeably fiercer. More recently, the government had used two different strategies to manage wildfires. One is to try to limit fires before they burn out of control. The other is to set small, prescribed fires to reduce the amount of fuel in the environment. Hopefully, the danger of catastrophic fires is now receding. Unfortunately, human carelessness, such as a campfire left to smolder, also can start a fire. While a natural or prescribed wildfire can be beneficial, this is not true for fires that result from malice or mistakes. These happen at times and places that may cause irreparable damage to plant, animal, and human life. Fires cannot control themselves, so humans will always have to figure out how best to handle them. So, this is an example of comparing and contrasting in a nonfiction text. And so we went over comparing and contrasting. So writers may organize a text to show how an idea is similar or different from another idea. To figure out if a writer is using a compare and contrast structure, look for signal words and phrases, such as however, on the other hand, and just as. So we were comparing rainstorms and wildfires. We had our example here. So we know that rainstorms mostly help plant, animal, and human life, and they can be destructive. And wildfires mostly destroy plant, animal, and human life, but they can be helpful. And they're both are forces of nature. So we just compared how they are different, goes on the outside, and how they're the same, goes on the inside. So I want you to reread the human factor on page 341, and either in your notes on paper, or if you want to type it up or draw it up on the computer, I want you to compare and contrast the impact that humans have on fires as described in this section. So you're going to just reread this little section right here, this one page, and you're going to tell me the impact that humans have on fires. So you're going to compare and contrast. So it's going to be either a positive impact that they have on fires or a negative impact and how they're the same. So I want you to practice that, and then you can submit it either in ClassDojo or Google Classroom for me to look at. But practice comparing and contrasting using your notes and reread the human factor. And I will see you on Wednesday for my next lesson. We're going to be reviewing the vocabulary. I'm going to do another little Kahoot game, and it's going to work because I just created it myself so we can review vocabulary before your little quiz on Friday. So tune in tomorrow on Zoom. I will be on from 9 to 10 a.m. and that's going to be on Wednesday.